Good morning, everyone, and welcome to class. Let's start with the prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru Deva, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Great masters, fill us with thy energy, dynamism, magnetism. Help us to find the solutions for every aspect of our lives and to say yes to life. We are thine. Receive us. Om Shanti, Shanti. Let's hear a song and then a brief excerpt from a talk by Swamiji on this topic today. Be practical in your idealism, overcoming spiritual laziness. Welcome again, everybody.
In India there lived by the banks of a stream a hermit whose prayers chose applause for their theme. He gazed at the flowers and he smiled at the sun. Then he clapped with delight. Lord, he cried, oh, well done. Well done, Lord, oh, very well done. The mountains that laugh with the gypsy clowns, the fields smile to welcome the sun. All nature sings praises aloud. The fields smile to welcome the sun. All nature sings praises aloud. The trees dance to show their elation. A day on God's earth has begun. And every true heart in creation in speechless wonder is bowed. And every true heart in creation in speechless wonder is bowed. Well done, Lord, oh very well done. The joy that you've planted in children's hearts, the thrill known in bearing a son, the hope when a trial departs. The thrill known in bearing a son, the hope when a trial departs. The gladness of men in their neighbors, of youth in its victories won. Our joys are the proof of your labors. How wonderful, Lord, are your arts. Our joys are the proof of your labors. How wonderful, Lord, are your arts. Well done, Lord, oh, very well done. At last I discovered the mystic key. The world's joy, oh secretive one, replies to your sweetness in me. The world's joy, oh secretive one, replies to your sweetness in me. For here in my heart lies the answer, your love shedding light like the sun. All life seems to leap like a dancer, when gazing I see only thee. All life seems to leap like a dancer, when gazing I see only thee.
I remember the first time when I was meditating, and it was lunchtime, and I had put my lunch aside, and I was sitting in the little chapel at Mount Washington, and I felt this intense joy here at the point between the eyebrows. And I thought, well, it seemed so natural, I couldn't possibly lose it. And so I thought, okay, I've got it, good. Now I went down to lunch. And suddenly I found I didn't have it anymore. And it took me a long time to come back. The tendency of the mind to not make the effort to cling to these realities is something overwhelming for a long, long time on the path. You sit there in meditation, and suddenly you go breathless. And you think, wait a minute, where's my breath? You suddenly go into superconscious and you just become afraid. I remember this man, he was the leader of our center in Paris, and I had heard for several years about the terrible trauma that came to him when he practiced Kriya, that he couldn't practice Kriya anymore because of this terrible thing that had happened to him. And I thought, my goodness, I've never heard of anybody else having a terrible thing happen to him while practicing Kriya. I'd like to know what he's talking about. So I was the head of the center department at Mount Washington, and I was sent to Paris in 1955. And I met this center leader, and as soon as he had a chance, which was the first day, he got me into a back room and started telling me this trauma. And he said I was sitting there and I did a few kriyas, and suddenly I saw this light, a big round light. And I felt myself being drawn up into that light, and suddenly I forgot that I had a body, and I didn't feel that I existed. There was only this light. It was terrible. I thought, wow. I should live so long. I'd like to have that myself. But in fact, because he didn't have the experience, it seemed to him terrible because it was new. That's really what we are, is that light. But the ego doesn't want to accept it. And so the ego resists it and says, wait, what about me? What about me? Ramakrishna, when he first touched Vivekananda and gave him an experience of samadhi, Vivekananda said, I have my parents to support. And Ramakrishna said, everybody says that, but I didn't expect you to say that. You're too high a caliber to talk like that. He was disappointed. But it's the habit of the mind. And we have to take a long time slowly quelling that habit and breaking out of it into the light. Laziness is probably the epitome of everything that holds us back. Laziness, reluctance, dullness of mind, all of these things that make us think, well, it's really too much trouble. If only I could just be left alone, I would be happy. The truth is that you will never be happy. I must tell you the truth. Living with Master, everybody says how wonderful, and of course it was wonderful, but it was a kind of wonder that very few people could put up with, because it was a challenge from morning till night. He never allowed you to slip back into that kind of thinking. He was always there. He'd keep you working all night long. He'd keep you meditating all hours. He'd do everything just like that. He was high energy. And you just sort of... I remember one day when I just sort of closed the door and picked up a book of Shakespeare and lay on my bed and read Shakespeare and just thought how wonderful to sit here and be able to relax for a while. But not many people could stick it out, I'll tell you the truth. You all think how wonderfully lucky I was. I don't know, maybe you were... I was lucky, yes, but no, maybe you couldn't have taken it. It was like a hotel. People coming and going all the time. Because very few people could really stick it out. And it wasn't as if he was sitting there with a whip driving you. He was really very loving and gentle. But he had such energy that people, unless they tuned into that energy and went with it, just sort of collapsed in total exhaustion.
Good morning again and welcome to everyone. This is such a great topic. And I just love these stories, these excerpts from Swamiji. I'd like to start today with something about Thomas Edison, who refined the light bulb. I got this from the internet this morning. The famous story goes that Thomas Edison failed to refine the light bulb, one of the few creations he merely refined but did not invent, so many times that it took him 10,000 attempts to perfect it. During his lifetime, Edison patented a record-setting 1,093 different inventions. On a single day in 1888, he wrote down 112 ideas. Averaged across his adult life, he patented something roughly every 11 days. That's just an incredible thought. And people think that, oh, I don't have the time. Oh, I don't know what solution there is. Oh, this is the only possible way. Oh, it goes on and on. Master gave this statement of to be practical in your idealism, meaning do something, get your energy going, get more magnetic, get more uplifted and inspired, get more in tuned. And we're on our path. We're focusing on using our will, using super consciousness, saying yes to life, being inspired, saying I can, I will, getting up and doing things. We have a very dynamic path. And so many people are, oh, it's too much. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, somebody else should do it. Oh, this is the only way. I've heard that so many times. And there's a gazillion ideas out there. There's so many solutions and people can't come up with one. Oh, I don't even know if I can make it. I don't. And then there's the whole excuses that go over and over and over and over. So you don't have to do anything. But it all equals spiritual laziness, that people just say, I just don't want to do it. And it's something that we have to break, because to find God, you can't be spiritually lazy. In meditation, people say, how come the Om technique's not working? And they never practice it. Oh, I don't feel energized, but they don't do energization. I just don't get it. Kriya doesn't work, but you're not practicing enough Kriya. And so we have everything we need. We have to focus and utilize what we have and get in gear. I would say lift up, get inspired, be with inspired people, read inspiring things, read Swamiji's lessons and books and master's thoughts. It's just so, God, it gives you a life. We have a life that's deeply inspired and deeply dynamic. But we have to always be in gear. And so today I want to give a couple of thoughts on how to do that, because otherwise people are vague, dreamy. You've got some thoughts, but nothing ever manifests. I see people in meetings, they say, yeah, it would be nice to do this, but nothing ever happens. And for things to be able to happen in your life and spiritually and finding God, you have to get in gear and get inspired and draw from the ether. I just draw ideas down after meditation. Ideas are just floating there and you can just pull them down and go for it. Have solutions and answers to things. There is no excuse to not have any ideas or thoughts or answers to things. Really, Master gave us everything we need. So I want to focus on this today. And the first thing is get rid of mental stagnation. It thwarts the energy. It's like pushing from both sides of a door. I want to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to do it. I don't. Go first. I want to do it. I love it. I'm inspired. I'm going to do it. I can do it. I will do it. This is so much better than, I don't know. Like Master and Swamiji, Master asked him, how are you? Well, Master said, that's good. And he always, like you could hear Swamiji saying, he had them racing, doing things all day long, meditating all night long. You ask people here, do a 3-hour meditation. I don't know if I can do it. I can't talk and sit there. So first thing is to get rid of mental stagnation. One side saying yes, one side saying no. And the other thing is for success. I remember Swamiji saying, you have to repeatedly do things to make it happen. Like, don't try once and say it didn't work, or try for a year and didn't say it work. Or look at Ram Gopal Mazumdar with meditation. 45 years, he said he didn't think he found God's favor. He was meditating for 20 years. I think it was 18 hours a day, and the other was meditating 25 more years for 24 hours a day or something. You have to put energy. It takes time and it takes focus. Swamiji said he would go over a book that he was writing 50 times, sometimes 50 times, to edit it, go over and over and over and make sure the words are right and the construction of the words and the phrases are put right and it sounds good and the verbs are right. And he didn't have a lazy bone in his body. And so that's one thing we have to remember. And if you're teaching a class, go over it, study, get something from the internet, go through master's teachings, take a walk and think through it. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? How are you going to get the inspiration? It has to have dynamism to it. If you're singing a song, and our choirs, they practice over and over and over and over. It looks easy. It's not easy. Everything you do, if you're a good musician, if you're a good athlete, over and over and over and over, you do it till you pop, you break it out, you break out, and you realize, okay, now I'm in gear. I can't be once or twice, nothing happened. To really be dynamic and to manifest things, you have to work at it and work at it and work at it until it's smooth sailing. That's one point. The second is get going. To get going, you can use affirmations, use prayer, the power of the gurus, and ask, what do you want, Master? Not what do I want? I want to do this. And that's it. Ask the gurus, what would you like me to do? What can I do for you today? How can I serve you today? And affirm it, visualize it, not just visualize. There's a statement of expect a miracle. I would say go beyond expect. Create it. Why not create it? Keep going until what's needed is manifested. That's what a miracle is. You keep going until it's manifested. And you can say, I'm positive, energetic, enthusiastic, I'm awake and ready. And we had an affirmations class, a workshop in Gurgaon on Sunday. Fabulous. I loved doing it. I loved hearing those people shouting the affirmations. I will with my own will, which is charged from the divine will to be happy, to be well, to be prosperous, to be spiritual. You do affirmations like that, a change is definitely going to happen. You can't go about life, I will with my own will, is charged from the divine will. You have to really be wanting it. You do energization enough, you'll have a powerful flow. Mahamudra, a powerful flow will be flowing through you. You listen to the right kind of music, you say the affirmations, you read the books, you serve. You can't help but have a lot of Shakti flowing through you. So put out the energy and make things happen. I remember when we were first in Italy, I was very young at that time, 21. I was 28 years old, but still pretty green on the path. And we just couldn't get moving. And Swamiji had sent us there and said, start something and get something going here. And it was just like, I don't know, what are we supposed to do? And he wasn't living there. He was visiting. Every time he'd come, do anything, just do something, sell photographs, sell talks, my talks, just get going. And then we did get going, but it wasn't a vacation. He just said, you've got to just do anything to get your energy moving. I remember another time Swamiji was here in India, and he needed a place to live. This was his last years in India. He was at a place of rental that wasn't working out. And I remember he just was feeling very ill even in that place. And he wanted to get a new place. And I just thought, I just got to get Swamiji a place to live. He's not comfortable where he is. And the very next day I went out in a car. I drove, I knew the center was there at the end of that block, K block. And I said, I'm going to find a place on this block. I got in a car, I drove down there, and I was driving slowly, the driver, and I was just feeling, Master, where's the house? I know there's a house on this street. I know you got a house for Swamiji. It was like a mantra. And then lo and behold, about 5 doors from the center, there was a rental sign, big. And the right side of the house, somebody went to that house, and I would stop the car. I went over there, I got the phone number. I called the phone number. I got somebody on there. I met the guy within an hour, signed the place, and Swamiji had the house. It had to happen. It was in the ether that it wanted to happen. We're only channels for things that Master wants to have happen. We have to remember that. And how do you think Gurgaon Center itself came up? Divine Mother. Swamiji kept saying, get out of the basement of Bhitimbaye, get a proper center. And we said, we like the basement, Swamiji, and it was free. He said, get out of the basement. So then, lo and behold, that place came. Swamiji walked in the door. He said, this is just what we've been needing. But we put out so much energy to make that happen. There was another place that was going to come, and that fell through. And then the next day, my friend said, go to this place and see. And there it was. Same with Panchil House. So much energy had been put out by Dayan Keshava over and over and over and over in different places. And then pop, there was Panchil. So you have to realize it takes greater the will, greater the flow of energy, greater the inspiration, greater the magnetism, greater the inspiration. And I'd add to that, greater the manifestation of what happens in your life for God and Guru. And finally, make a plan. I don't see how people can run even their own life without a plan. Make a plan, figure out, how's it going to happen? What do I want to have happen? How's it going to happen? Who's going to do it? What is the budget? What is the timeline? What is the goal? And then just click, 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 go right down that plan and make it happen. If you just say, well, okay, somehow Divine Mother will help us. I have never found that to happen. You always have to do everything you absolutely can. And then she comes in usually the 11th hour and says, okay, I'll help you. You put out enough energy. So in any part of your life, plan it out. And finally, I was just thinking here, every Ananda community worldwide has come from a plan. It's come from, and somebody putting out a lot of energy to make that happen. And who knows how many centers we have around the world, and communities and meditation groups. It all came from some seed. Somebody planted, continually watered and watered and watered. Swamiji's power behind it, Master's power, the Guru's power, pop, got a new center. We have new centers, Ludhiana now, Hyderabad now, Coimbatore, a meditation group, Jaipur, a meditation group, and others, Mumbai, a brand new center, fantastic center. I was just down there, it's fabulous. The cafe in Mumbai, all these things have come from people's energy and creativity and giving that thought, putting it into manifestation. Last point is, don't rationalize too much, analyzing, and people analyze things to death, why it won't work. This is that problem, then there could be that problem, then maybe that problem will come up, and maybe that problem. This is problem consciousness. We need to be solution oriented, not problem oriented, and put out enough energy, the problems go away, honestly. And if you have a problem, you've got energy, you go in that direction and it works. I remember one time we were talking about, Master said, first of all, I'll say this, that Swamiji said that Master didn't counsel them and talk with them and about problems and things. He just gave them something to do because he knew it would break that stagnant mental energy and the thought of, I can't, why I can't. The solution is to say, how can I? Rather than, can I? How can I do it? The Master would have them, he would give them something to do so they can lift their energy. And Swamiji the same. I'd go to him, Swamiji, I got to talk to you about this. You just give me something to do. Here's something more to do. Here's something more. And he saw my energy just kept lifting up. So finally, I remember in this meeting with Swamiji once, and a lot of different people were there. And I've told this story before, but it really taught me a big lesson that we were hoping to start a work in Australia. Now we have a work in Australia. Seeds were planted many places. And I went to Australia, one of the first to go, and I thought, I don't know. I just don't know if we ever have anything in Australia, but we stayed there a couple of months and came back and told Swamiji how it was. So at this meeting, Swamiji had different people who were going to go to Australia, who had visited Australia. Maybe there were Australians in the room. I don't remember everybody. But I remember Swamiji went around a circle asking people, because he had been, but he wanted to know, what were our thoughts? Should we start in Australia or not? I was the first person. I was sitting there and he asked me, because I'd just come back, and he asked me what I thought. I said, No way. They're not interested. I had a long list of all these different things. And Swamiji looked at me and then he just went, okay, next. He went to the next person. And I just realized he didn't want the negative side. If you have something negative, say, balance it with the positive, but mine was completely negative. No, it can't work. Next. And it taught me a big lesson. In everything that you do, try to think how you can do it, how it could work, how you can put energy out. Even if it's a little bit of success, then that will change your thoughts and help you to be able to be positive oriented, solution oriented, super conscious oriented, saying yes to life. I can, I will do it. And who does it anyway? It's God. But if you have your channels this open, you can't really do much. All we're saying is, I'm willing, I'm open. Give me the ideas. I'll work hard to make it happen. You do that, you can change and do so many things in your life rather than this complaining and excuse mentality. It's not a devotee and it's not a disciple. It's not a Kriyaban. It's certainly not a disciple of Master. He had so much power and energy and created worlds. He did so many things. And at Mount Washington, he went in there and said, this feels like home. And they said, what do you mean? Then it was going to be 3 years to, it was $45,000 to buy it. And he just said, we're getting this place. And one devotee said, it took you 3 years to get that amount. He said, 3 years for those who think 3 years, and 3 months for those who think 3 months. It's all there, so clear. And if you meditate, you energize, you do the practices, your mind gets so strong and open and receptive and can do anything and can change things. And as you do that, you find that God has come in. He's changed your consciousness and he's using you as a channel of his light, of his energy, of his magnetism, of his dynamism, of his creativity, of his initiative. That's the spirit of a true devotee and disciple. Get to that level. Any complaining and all, just kill it. Just say, I'm not going there. I'll share a personal story ending that the other day I was feeling kind of, bad physically. And I gotta go to the Kriyaban retreat. I gotta go, Master. I gotta go. Then I have an America trip. I just gotta go. I gotta go. There's all these meetings. And I just start chanting, Om Guru, Om Guru. I put this picture of Master right by my bed. I just kept looking. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. And then it went away. I wanted to do it. I'm loving doing it. And God is giving me the opportunity. Let him give you the opportunity. Don't close the door. God needs helpers. He needs channels. He needs instruments. God bless you. We have a couple of questions asking Natindra to come on the screen.
Thank you, Janaji. Actually, the questions just vanished with such a power.
Acha. Well, maybe some of them are answered. You can decide.
Yes, Janaji. The one question that I have is, I don't know what's best to do out of so many possible projects that come to my mind. How do I know what to put my energy into?
Here's the thing. Ask Master. I see people who are scattered. They're doing this, the next day they're over there, then they're going here, and then they're going there. They're not accomplishing anything. It's going in circles. Ask Master, what do you want? Here's the things I think could work. Please guide me in the one that's right and shut the door on the other ones. And then you have to listen. Follow and listen. Follow and listen and keep asking. You don't ask once. Keep asking. Is this the direction? Is this the project? Is this the house? Is this the center? Is this what you want? And you feel in your heart, yes. Or you'll feel, that's not right. Isn't it? That's not right. He's not pleased with that. And so don't ask yourself, ask the masters, and ask Babaji, ask Lahiri Mahashaji, ask Master, what would you have me to do? What do you want? And just not, I would say, typically what I do say, if this is right, open, help me, I'm willing to work. Help me open the doors. If it's not right, shut the door. I don't want to go there. I don't want it. It could be something that you really want. This job I really want. But I say, Master, if it's not for me, please shut the door. It's a hard prayer because people have so many desires. I gotta have it. You don't gotta have it. It could take you down a wrong path. So ask God and Guru, and then when it happens, you go, yay! And then when it doesn't happen, yay! Mm-hmm. Either way, another idea will come up. No? That's what happened with phase 5 in Gurgaon. It was like this big project. We're going to get this piece of property and build and build and build. And we went months and months and months. And then boom, it went down. And Swamiji said it wasn't for us. And then the next day we got the center in Gurgaon. What do you say? And Swamiji said, this is just what we wanted to have. But we had to go through all that energy to break stagnant energy to even get the place in Gurgaon. Make sense?
Absolutely, Dhyanaji.
Yeah.
Just one last question. Other people seem to have a lot of ideas and inspiration, but I don't. Why would that be?
Meditate more, be with inspired people, go to the satsangs, come to programs, read the books, ask the gurus to use you as a channel. Exercise, eat right. You know, you can't, it's in your thoughts. If your thoughts are, I can't, let somebody else, I'm just let me turn on the television. No, let me take another nap. No, let me go get 5 donuts. It's like, God, you got to work for it. You got to work for inspiration. You heard me say what Thomas Edison did 10,000 times on the same thing. People do one thing, it didn't work. Okay, let me just go back and lie down. You got to keep continuous effort, continuous thinking about, not thinking, but working at it. I would say get off the couch. Do something. Get engaged, get your energy moving and say, Divine Mother, I want to be a channel. I want to help you. It could be praying at home for people. It could be doing website work. It could be donating to the centers, or it could be anything, but you have to do something. And then more and more and more ideas and inspiration, and I just can't tell you. And after meditation, you can just sit there and write them all down. This one, that one, this one, that one, this one, that one. They're everywhere. Ideas are in, Master said, universally, thoughts are universally rooted, not individually. They're all there. Grab them and manifest them in your life. God bless you all. Thank you, Nitendra. Bye-bye.